What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Man, look at that. Yeah, we've been working, you guys. We've been working. We got the front end back together for the most part on this thing. Well, not the fenders, right? We are continuing on that series with the wiring, the American Auto Wire harness, and we're moving up to the front end because we got to kind of start getting some of these wires laced in, headlights accounted for and all that. But check it out. Yeah, man, a little upgrade on the headlights, nothing too crazy, a little eBay special, nothing too fancy. I want to say they're around $100, give or take. I'll put a link down in the description below if you guys are interested, but these are a direct replacement for the originals. Even the connector on the backside, it's pretty cool. So that's going to make it a lot easier for us with this kit. I normally like to run the Dapper lighting, man. They're super nice. They're well worth the money, but they are pricey. But this is definitely a little bit more budget friendly, so we're sticking with these. But yeah, let's see what we got going on over here. You can see, man, it is an organized freaking mess. Let me show you. Oh yeah, man, look at that. We got the inner fender wells back from powder coat. We got them back on, and we need them there so we can lace everything up so we can see what we're working with as far as wire length and things like that. But mind you, we've already cleaned this stuff up. You guys remember on the last video on how to remove the unwanted wires and things like that from your bulkhead. If not, there's another video that I did a long time ago talking about that bulkhead. I'll put it down in the description below so you guys can check that out. But so you're gonna have, with this American Auto Wire kit, you're gonna have one here. This is mainly all lighting here, and then the other one is power, and then a few accessories and things like that. Now let's start with the lighting one, because this is one here that we've been working on. The lighting one here, this guy here is gonna give you a bunch of wires. You're gonna have high beams, you're gonna have parking lights. The dark brown are your parking lights. You're gonna have left and right turn signals, which is this light blue and dark blue. And then you're gonna have low beams, which is your light brown, right? Cool. Now you're also gonna have a horn, green horn wire right here. Now that one goes directly to your guys' horn. If you have double horns, you're gonna have to split that. And then they give you an extra one. This is kind of nice of them. This is actually one electric fan output. That's constant power, I believe. But we're not going to use it for our fans because we're going to use something else. I'll show you guys here in a sec. But what we are going to do is we're going to repurpose that because we're going to be running a transmission cooler up front. And we're actually going to run an independent fan for that as well. So we're going to use that for that relay. So that should work out real nice. But in the other part of the harness here, this, you guys had already see. These are the 4 wires that we accounted for our fan relays. So remember, we had from the inside of the dash the blue and green that we repurposed from the original setup. You have blue and green, which is oil pressure and coolant temperature sensor, but we're going to repurchase that. We're going to reuse that for the fan 1 and 2. And then these 2 guys here are basically, that's normally the AC blower motor, where we're going to use that for our constant power for our fan relay. And then you're going to have the ignition hot right here. We're going to use that obviously as a trigger as well for the fan relay. So we'll wire up that later. And then you're going to have one red big power wire. That's the main power that feeds back that harness. So you're going to plug that, and that's going to go all the way back around. And you guys remember we put the relay slash breakers down there by the frame rail. That's what that's going to get hooked up. So boom, done. Now these guys, I kind of taped them, zip tie them out of the way, and I left them in here for a reason. These are normally the wires that go back to your motor for your windshield wipers, but we went ahead and left them there. We could have pulled this out and then been done and not have them in the way, but we left them out there because if we need to repurpose them later, we can for other things, because they are still in the dash side as well. So we left them, so we ever need to run any accessories, things like that, we zip tie them, tape them out of the way, and they'll live inside the inner fender and you'll never see them, but they'll be there just in case of an emergency, because we're running the Detroit Speed new motor, and it does not require that setup. You can see we got it running down through the inside of the firewall nice and clean. But these guys here are, like I said, these are all your actual lighting. Now 70 and 71 and 72 are obviously a little bit different. You don't have the double headlights, so we have a single headlight here. Hence, you're going to need this guy right here. You should have all this stuff in your kit. You should have a couple bags that are all for the front headlight wiring. You should have a couple of these guys, a bag full of connectors, grounds, pigtails for the side markers and things like that, turn signals as well. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to go ahead and mock up that headlight bucket. It's kind of these headlight buckets are a little bit different than a 70 because they're all like super bulky one piece, and we need the headlight here mocked in so we know what kind of length we need for our wires. So we're going to try to tape it on or something, because I don't want to put the fender on, because you can see we're still working and we don't want to put that on quite yet. So let me see if I can put that on real quick. Not too shabby, you guys. We got this thing mocked up without the fender. Not too bad. That'll give us a good idea on how long we need to make these wires. You can see it. We went ahead and separated them up a little bit. That's going to be for the passenger side of the car. But we're going to cut these guys here because these will end up going to the passenger side as well. So here is for headlights, obviously low beam, high beam. You're going to have high beam, low beam, and then left turn signal, and then parking light. So we're going to gauge them. We're probably going to cut them somewhere right around in there for at least turn signal and then headlight. Before I forget, you guys, I want to talk a little bit about the tools obviously you're going to need. Obviously a good pair of scissors is always nice, some crimpers, obviously wire strippers and things like that. But obviously these are really the most important stuff right here. These kind of crimpers right here, this are the ones that you're going to need to crimp that style connectors. Now mind you, I like those, but I also really like these. These are really kind of like the do-it-all, but they're not really fancy, and they're not expensive either. But like that double wired one, like I don't have anything big enough that can crimp that in one go. So I use the end of this, and you do one tab at a time, and it worked out really good, you guys. So I will try to put some links down in the description below for all the tools we use here today, and check it out, man. Definitely check it out. All right, you guys, went ahead and continued without you guys a little bit because sun was beating me up. It was getting hot and the camera started overheating, but you guys really didn't miss anything. What I didn't do is, originally when I first started putting the turn signal and parking light right here, is I totally forgot about the little halo on the aftermarket light right there. The halo actually is a turn signal built in along with the parking light. So we had to come out of here, out of our turn signal / marker light, and basically splice it, double it, and then come into here. That way it received the signal from the turn signal and the parking light, because it requires it there. But we got everything else for the most part laced in. For the headlight now, you guys can see you're basically gonna have double headlight wires and double high beam wires, because one's an in, one's an out, obviously. So the other one coming out is gonna go to the passenger side. Now, if we follow that along, we come here, we got our nice and laced in here. And I went ahead and just kind of dropped these wires off here. These are the ones we were talking about for the fans. These are all going to be fan wires for the relay. So I'm not sure we're gonna put the relays at yet, maybe somewhere in this area next to the fans. But if you follow along, we go all the way across the side here, I should say across the top. We went ahead and removed the radiator for you guys. The horn wire, we're gonna have 2 horns mounted here. Obviously, traditionally the Chevelle's got the horns mounted here. And then you come along the back side, you'll see kind of just sitting here, right here. But this is gonna live all on underneath the core support. These guys live right in there, something like that. But we got that one big old power, remember we talked about, that's gonna go to that little breaker box right there. So it's gonna live right there. Went ahead and threw the other headlight in as well. Now you guys can see, obviously it helps not having the fenders in, right? So we got the headlight. We did the same thing on this side. Now I haven't put these in the connector. I want to show you guys something. Now, like I said, the other ones have the double wires coming out. And these little guys right here, when you go to crimp these guys on, there's going to be different sizes. You're going to have one that is a lot bigger than the other. So that's how you can fit 2 wires in one. But also when you do these, some of these spade connectors like this, they're bigger and some of them are smaller. So be wary of that. Make sure you guys use the right size for the actual right connector for your headlight. Now we can put those in. Obviously we got our ground. Our grounds will just live on basically the core support once we put a bolt through there. But you can see it's going to live pretty clean, nice and neat. Again, we had to tap into that guy here for the halo. So that's our halo connector right there. But let me throw these on real quick so you guys can see what that looks like. If you guys don't know, those little spade connectors literally just snap right in there, and boom, you guys, you have a headlight switch, or I should say a headlight connector. But they do matter. The orientation does matter, of course. Make sure you pin them correctly. I believe American Auto Wire gives you guys instruction. I went ahead and marked mine green, tan, whatever, black is ground. But now that'll just live like that. Boom, we'll have our connector for our headlight, and obviously the accessory stuff as well. And then, like I said, our grounds will just live on the core support. We got to drill a couple holes, get a grounding surface, and we'll be good to go. But this one is definitely a lot easier than the 70 because we have an extra side marker. Then you have an extra parking lamp on the bumper. A lot more for the 70. But you can see, man, this thing is moving right along. I'm liking the wiring. Once we have everything set up as far as the wires where we want to, we can actually pull all this back off and actually put wire loom and lace everything in once we have everything we want in the area we want. But like I said, once again, all we got really is the relays. Just the relays, really, right? But it's moving right along, you guys. I'm hoping this information helps you guys out. Let me know, put it down in the comments below. But you guys, it's getting hot, getting toasty, man. But hopefully you guys hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. I see you guys watching, man. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button and hit the bell for notifications. You guys already know. Stay wrenching.